What is the containment policy? Let me explain it to you. As we all know, we live in a world where there is capitalism and communism. Capitalism prioritizes self-centered freedoms and highly profit-driven ventures at the expense of individual and collective responsibility, while communism, on the other hand, prioritizes and emphasizes community welfare and collective responsibilities over gains and profits. The United States of America, for instance, is a hyper-capitalist country, while Russia and China are countries that practice socialism and communism. Right after World War II, the Soviet Union and their socialist and communist ideas were gaining popularity in many countries in Asia, especially China, Korea, and Vietnam. This ideology was also gaining popularity in Africa. They particularly appealed to pre-independence African countries, for they provided inspiration on the way to free Africa from colonialism. Socialist and communist ideas inspired a lot of Africans to fight for independence from colonial rule. The Soviet Union, which is today's Russia as well as China, also inspired African leaders to fight for their independence from colonial rule. The same thing was happening all over the world where colonialism prevailed, that is in Asia, Latin America, and also in the Caribbean. As most of the countries of the world began to move towards adopting socialist and communist ideologies, the United States of America invented a way to stop the rise of socialism and communism across the world. This invention is called the Containment Policy. The containment policy basically entails things like military interventions and invasions of countries that have or are working towards adopting communist and socialist governments like Cuba, Vietnam, and Korea. It also promotes propaganda in the media that painted communism and socialism as evil and the death of freedom. This is why the mainstream media still paints the US and European countries in a positive light but reports negatively on Russia, China, Cuba, Venezuela, and North Korea. It also encouraged the overthrow of government in countries and create divisions in order to install pro-American governments that will further open the economy of these countries to American corporate interests and exploitation. Most people today do not realize that every anti-Russia and anti-China rhetoric that we hear in the media is the containment policy in action. The United States' containment policy is the one thing that keeps most countries of the world subservient and firmly controlled by the United States and its globalist empire.